Hi. So this video has no planned structure or any of that, but I thought it would just be fun to take a trip back in time. I was talking recently with a couple of my friends and looking back on kind of our teen years, but we were talking about AIM or AIM, which was the AOL instant messaging system, and for me and for other teenagers, it was the first online conversation system that I remember, and so it was pretty groundbreaking and amazing. We were looking back on all the just different details and sort of sensory memories that went along with that. And then I brought up Xanga to my other friends. Xanga was pre-MySpace, and MySpace was pre-Facebook. So if you know what Xanga is, then you know what Xanga is, or was. Still running, but anyway, for those of you who do not know, it was a blogging site, and Xanga has it that you can actually log back into your Xanga accounts and then download an XML file of your site that can run on a WordPress run site. That's for another day. I'm not feeling that tech savvy right now. At the moment, what I'm going to do is look through the really broken down, looks like a broken just HTML page kind of, through some of my accounts, because I had a bunch of accounts, and it's funny, you didn't need an email. You know, usually nowadays when you get an account for something, you need a unique email that goes with that, and that's what it's tied to. But this you didn't, which is probably another reason that a lot of teenagers could use it, because at that time teenagers didn't really have email. Apparently, Xanga got sued somewhere in the 2006 timeframe due to kids' privacy violations. The issue seemed to lie in minors not needing parents' consent in order to open an account. Looking back, it was definitely incredibly easy to open an account, and this doesn't necessarily surprise me, but I thought nothing of it at the time. I made a bunch of them. I have a document, and I'm looking at 40. I shut some down as well. And the thing was, like, I made layouts. They were the CSS modifications that you could run on your Xanga, and so I made them. I'm sure if you were a Xanga person, I'm sure that you would go and you'd look up other sites, and then you'd go and find the Xangas that have different layouts, and then you copy the code and then you paste it in. And then one of the things that you could do, like, there's phrases that go with performing an action on Xanga, so it would be like log out, sign the guest book. Guest books. Oh, wow, guest books. That's just not even like a concept anymore, is it? Because I guess comments were associated with a particular post, but a guest book was kind of a static page where people could leave their mark and say cool things or uncool things. And Xanga also had e-props, which were like props, like props to the caterer. Anyway, it was e-props. You could leave 0, 1, or 2. And I do not recall situations where people would leave 0. It defaulted to 2. So usually what you would see would be like 1 comment, 2 e-props. And then 2 comments, 4 e-props. And well, this I do remember, it was unique users only. So you could leave multiple comments, but you could not leave multiple e-props. You could either do your 0, your 1, or your 2. I don't know if you could change that, like if you left 0 and you wanted to change it to 1, or 1 to 2, 2 to 1. I have no idea. All I know is that one user on one post could leave 2 e-props, and that was it. And so with these layout sites, the people running them would be like, oh, when this post gets to like 50 comments and 100 e-props, then I'll post this new layout that I made. Or no, actually it would be like your kickstarting event. like, this layout site will open when this post reaches, 50 comments, 100 eProps, meaning that like 50 different people would have to comment on that post, not just one person leaving like 25 comments. No, none of that. It was really like, wow. I don't think I ever could I had so many different sites. I just tried a million different things and had very little direction. I still don't have direction. I don't know if I ever got away with that. You did have, did they call them subscribers? I never had that many. I was not a popular person. But with the different layout sites, every layout that you made had its own individual account. And I have, let's see, one. That one was with my sister, but she didn't really catch on to the code editing thing. That one was with a friend of mine. That's mine. So 1, that's mine. 2, that's mine. 3, that's mine. 4, that's 5, that's mine. 6, that's mine. Oh, and then icons were a thing. They were 100 pixels by 100 pixels. This was afterwards when you could put photos in your posts. And then it would just be like you have these icon dump or something. I think some people would use them as their profile picture or avatar, however you want to say it. So there would be icon sites. So I had one. Apparently I had a series. And so you'd have sub-sites. So let's see, I have like a 70s, 80s one. Audrey Hepburn, Beatles, Bob Dylan, games, probably video games, mostly Zelda, Jane Austen, monks, 90s and thousands. That's weird for me because I was very averse to anything after the 80s when I was a kid. Osmonds. I was really into like Donny Osmond and the Osmond brothers. It's just ridiculous. Like I had a whole layout site dedicated to the Osmonds. It's like, what other people were into the Osmonds? Donovan, the Art Donovan, Bob Dylan layout. Oh, there's more. Oh my god, yeah. Had so many. Okay, so I had a story writing site and polls? How did I do polls? Anyway, another thing that I did on Xanga, and this accounts for a lot of the usernames that I see right here, right before me, I used to play this role-playing game with 2 of my friends. So I have 2 Yahoo Mail accounts, and one of them was my regular one, but the other one I created for this character. And so we invented these personas that we were like spies, and then we would like communicate with each other, but we'd never talk about spy things. Anyway, so let's see. Let's go to this. I'm not even going to show it to you because there's nothing to show to you. If anything, I'll probably put up some like screenshots eventually of different like Xanga things that I find. Oh, I remember this. This is, me saying I have a new site or whatever. And then the thing to do, like, so the account name plus account name equals account name. And then that's just like written like 6 or 7 times. This was a trendy thing to do because you have to, now I have to find one of my sites to show you why. Cause you had a bad day, you take one down. Okay, so I found one. So this is my Clarksville Incorporated Layouts account. So Clarksville, again, Last Train to Clarksville, the Monkees. This snapshot is from 2006, which makes sense because that's when I was really into the Monkees. And so this is not a great layout. This is really simple. This was a big thing where you could have two. What's really funny, let me see. Inspect. What I don't know a whole lot about web development. I have my associates in web design and development, so like I know a little bit. But this is how I began. So when I started those classes, like I kind of knew how to navigate CSS and HTML just because I had been exposed to it. And so on a fairly intuitive level, because I'd been exposed to it when I was kind of young, I knew somewhat what to do. And so now I'm really curious, like, what type is this? Oh, is it a paragraph? I think it is just a paragraph. First of all, within web development and web design, there's this whole concept of accessibility. And as you might imagine, it's making web pages accessible. So, legible fonts, legible font colors, don't have a bunch of moving things that you can't pause because that could give people vertigo or nausea or just sometimes be plain annoying. So as you can see, I'm guessing, or maybe you can't see because it is so small, but this was the aesthetic. So we have the links in small font size but in cap. But that was the trend. And then you have your heading with a caption, or not a caption, but like a subheading, and it's supposed to look aesthetic. Mine weren't very good, like mine were okay. What I should really do is I should go out to createblog.com, and there was another one. I don't remember what it was called because I didn't use it. Anyway, I used createblog.com, but I didn't put any layouts out there. We're gonna go out there then. But this kind of gives you an idea of, I need to like zoom in. I can't believe this. This is like offensively inaccessible. I remember working hard on this. I don't remember why, but this like concept of being able to a lot of the times you put the link that went back to your layout page, you put it up top with like a funny quote or cool, cute, trendy, whatever. For me, of course, it was, and I don't know if I'm ever coming home. That was like my slogan for Clarksville Incorporated Layouts because it's like the refrain of Last Train to Clarksville. And I don't know if I'm ever coming home. This caption here, this up top though, that's a Cardigan song. When I hit like 13, I got really into the Cardigans for some reason. Well, not for some reason. Okay, so we have read my profile, sign my guest book, and I can't really click on any of these because it's like it's a capture. Name Valerie. Yes, I came up with a bunch of different names for myself. It's just kind of like different personas. So this one I started, okay, so July 19th, 2006. And it was, okay, so I wasn't sure if it was subscribe or not. Subscribe to Clarksville Incorporated Layouts, get trial subscription. I remember that, but I don't remember what it was. I just remember I never did it. Oh, bloggering. So this was like little groups that you could join. And there was a limit. You could have like, I don't know, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Was it only 8? So anyway, like, why would I make a blog ring for myself? Clarksville Incorporated Layouts. I don't know. You must be joking. I make monkeys layouts too. I made that one. 60s layouts. I actually don't remember. I don't remember if I made that one or not. We make layouts. I didn't make. I just joined it. Oh yeah, and you could do next, which is like, I don't know what the hierarchy was, who would be next, who would be after you or previous from you, but like random, it would just select a random account from the list and then you could go see them. So we make layouts. Fortunately for you, we make beta layout. Are these the same one? Layouts. No, there's a space. There's a space after layouts here. And then there's not a space. So you could go to your posting calendar, so you could go to a person's date. Oh, okay. And then yes, you would have affiliates. And you would make, I probably still have a little graphic somewhere. It boggles me. Well, it doesn't boggle me. It's just in retrospect, it's hysterical to me how small you made everything. But you could make little, they weren't icons. They were more like sprites that would sometimes be animated if you're really, cool. And they would have your layout, site name, thing, and then be affiliates with someone. So you'd have to ask them, like, hey, let's be, I think affiliates was another word for it. So I put affiliates, which seems like something more that I would have put, but I think affiliates was a big one. I'll have to see if I put affiliates anywhere else. We always had rules. Do not change my layouts. Remove the link or change the link. Yes, that was a big deal. Don't remove the link. But what's funny is, like, I think that's what a lot of people said, don't remove the link, change the link. And we knew what that meant, but if you think about it in generic terms, it's like the links, like there's a bunch of links. Okay, so yeah, these were my layouts. So I only got up to 7 layouts. And then you would edit your post. E-props, told you, there they are, 22 e-props. There's 6 comments, but 22 e-props doesn't make any sense because 6 times 2 is 12. I don't know. So like I was saying, everything was an individual account. I don't know if you can see the web address in Xanga.com/Clarksville000. But you see, this was a trend. Let's zoom in a little bit more because again, it's so gosh darn small. But you would have the curly brackets, the curly braces, and then you would have it's the 3-digit numbers starting it at 0. Are we an array? I don't know, but that was a thing. So this is like me picking up on all of the hip stuff to do on Xanga. And obviously there weren't a lot of monkey sites out there. A lot of them, it would be like Victoria's Secret models, Starbucks. What's actually funny to me now, thinking back on it, is, I remember seeing a lot of that stuff. I'm surprised that there weren't more like anime layout sites, and I remember seeing those on CreateBlog, which again, we'll go there. But like as far as finding them organically on Xanga, not so much. A lot of Starbucks, a lot of, what else was big then? We're 2006, when you were 15 and cool. What were you into? I don't know. But anyway, so this was me taking those style sensibilities from those sites, but then applying them to my own niche interests. Niche. I prefer niche. But hang on a second. We're going to look for some more vivid snapshots and not just my weirdness. Okay. We got something. Alright, so createblog.com. And right off the bat, you can tell that we're going back in time. So welcome. CreateBlog.com is a resource website run by webmasters, web designers, and web developers. We support MySpace, Blogger, and other popular social networking sites, and provide free resources like MySpace layouts, avatars, and icons, and MySpace track. Oh, that was a thing. You would try to see who visited your site. And like for me personally, like I just wanted to be like, does anybody I know visit my site? Like I just wanted to know that people that I was acquainted with actually like visited. Oh yeah, see, it's like you go and and it's funny, like I didn't understand what it meant. It's like CSS. Oh, that's how you change how something looks. But okay, here we go. So when I was talking about, I was surprised that there was so little like anime that I could find on actual Xanga sites. It's because I remember going out here, and as you can see, we have, this isn't exactly anime actually, is it? What is it? Oof. See, I couldn't do stuff like this. Some lorem ipsum. We've got our links over here. Oh, this was a big deal. I remember being able to like add in your custom links as opposed to just, editing the look of the links that were already there. And like this still goes on because I know in Tumblr people edit their themes as well, but this is just so deliciously 15 years ago. Oh gosh, and again, everything is so small. This one looks like, yeah, absent emotions. Very, very active, quiet. Oh good, this is some, oh, come on. Because that was a thing. Oh my goodness. Okay, so there was no, Xanga didn't host pictures? Really? So, you had to get it hosted, and so like the thing that you would do, so I think TinyPic was a common one. I think I used Image Shack, and so you would just upload your picture and then they would give you a URL. But I remember that, and so sometimes they would break and then you have to re-upload it. So annoying. You need to go in and change. Okay, this looks, I really hope that some of these really keep working. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, this is when you're getting real like fancy. Oh, this font. It's oh, graphics, different colors. And so then you would go on createblog.com and you would try to figure out how to, overlay gradients on images and then the different fonts and the spacing. That font, I never liked the font. The Catch Me font, it's like, no, that's corny. A lot of work. Like, really, when you think about it, this is like a bunch of probably teenagers. Oh, I remember this one. I wonder if I ever had this one. Probably. It's like, see, tiny pig. Like, it just makes me so sad. It makes me so sad for this person. So I think what ended up happening is that somebody on Create Blog, they uploaded like a skeleton CSS template. And then you'd go and do what you wanted. Oh, this is, I don't even know who this is. Oh, wait, but there's something I want to touch on here. Oh, yeah, this was a big thing. So I'm 17, but I still act like a 5-year-old. Okay. Whatever. But the whole, being able to grab certain words and edit the styling on them specifically. Photo bucket, that was another one. Skins. Oh, yeah, they used to call them skins, too. Anyway. Got some great looks here. Oh yeah, this was a thing. And like, part of me is still attached to this look. This concept of having within a small box, you have your scroll boxes and then like everything is contained. Ooh, here we go. Yeah, 2009. Harry Potter. Oh yeah, Draco Malfoy. Oh, and another really non-accessibility friendly thing that you used to do is you used to get a song that would play when you go onto your site. Oh, we're going way back. Oh, 2005. This is good stuff. See how small that is? Log in, log out. Look how tiny those links are. This is image mapping. And I remember because on Photoshop 7, I forget whatever that extra component like software was that went with that. I remember figuring out how to do that. And boy, did my layout game go up. I would try to show you some more of my layouts, but I really have to do some hacking. Which Jennifer is this? J-Lo. I let J-Lo in for us. Oh yeah, putting gradients behind you. Whatever. Oh yeah, Gbook. Sometimes it was just Gbook. And this whole thing would be all like lowercase dot, class dot, admin dot, it's gotta be cool. But what's just funny now is like at the time, so much of this seemed like magic, gradients, like, oh, just like type in these different things and like, oh, look at that. Look at what it can do. Oh my goodness, it changes colors. It goes from yellow to pink to green. And like now, with my limited exposure to web development and coding, I'm like, it's not that big of a deal. But you know what? When you're 12, it's a big deal. Ooh, LiveJournal. What different sorts of people run LiveJournal? Like that's what I feel like, there's different personalities that go with like Tumblr, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, etc., etc. And I'm not aware of like what was there a distinction, like there were Xanga people, blogger people, LiveJournal people, MySpace people, because like, well, in my mind it's like Xanga then MySpace. And like I didn't really know people who had blogger accounts or LiveJournal. I might have known a couple of people, but I didn't really go on there. Oh, see, this is super fancy though because they have this little thing off to the side. Oh, I forgot about that one. Okay, first of all, the crosshair cursor, it's like just because you can, might as well. Not to mention the things like you could have like stars trailing your cursor. That was super fun. But then this, like, the words stretch out and the spacing increases. Wow. I need to find basic Xanga layout. Okay, so fortunately, some kind souls have uploaded some screenshots. So if you didn't have a layout, this was the type of thing that you could do. So you would have your heading and there are two things that you had to fill out, which is this big thing on the left, and you could style that, you know, what size you want it to be, and then the same on the right, how big or small. And so I think a lot of times people would do song lyrics. I don't know if this is song lyrics or not. I think you could change your overall font, but this was the basic font. And here we go. Look, you could put in your AIM or AIM username and it would show up. Like there was a place to fill that out. That's how popular it was. Wow. You could change your background color, then your sidebar color, your background sidebar color, and your sidebar font color. And then you could do borders and then typical, which I now know are just like the regular CSS, you know, dotted dash. Here's another one. I have no idea. Society. No, we are not a cult. We're not that obsessed with pink. Schmexiness. Oh, gosh. Remember Schmexy? Name. Rachel, Charlotte, Kenzie. Yeah. We've got some, I believe this is Comic Sans. So it's like, you know, you have Impacts. I think that's Times New Roman. It's a typical serif font. And we got some Comic Sans. I think you had like 8 font choices or something. Anyway, I think I'm going to stop there. I just felt like revisiting Xanga. I would like to, it's harder to revisit like AIM, AIM. If you remember this, I hope that this, you know, brought back some interesting memories for you. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, then welcome to the internet before you. Okay, that's it. I'm gonna sign off now. Be sure to sign my guest book. Leave some e-props. Okay? A tout à l'heure.